how are you? How are my young gentlemen and young ladies? All busy, relaxing, doing something or the other, hopefully constructive? I'm sure you all are. So you're all set to listen to this story. This story is The White Umbrella, and this has been written by Gish Chen, and this is about these people from maybe Korea or Taiwan or China moving to America, and how they adjusted to the cultural norms and the setup of the society, the hierarchy, and how hard they worked. So let's see what happens in this story. Should I begin? Okay. When I was 12, my mother went to work without telling me or my little sister. Not that we need the second income. The lilt of her accent drifted from the kitchen up to the top of the stairs, where Mona and I were listening. "No," said my father in a barely audible voice, "not like the Lee family." The Lees were the only other Chinese family in town. I remembered how sorry my parents had felt for Mrs. Lee when she started waitressing downtown the year before. And so when my mother began coming home late, I didn't say anything and tried to keep Mona from saying anything either. "But why shouldn't I?" she argued. "Lots of people's mothers work." "Those are American people," I said. "So what do you think we are? I can do the Pledge of Allegiance with my eyes closed." So now they are American citizens. Nevertheless, she tried to be discreet, and if my mother wasn't home by 5:30, we would start cooking by ourselves to make sure dinner would be on time. Mona would wash the vegetables and put on the rice. I would chop. For weeks, we wondered what kind of work she was doing. I imagined that she was selling perfumes, testing dessert recipes for the local newspaper, or maybe she was working for the florist. Now that she had learned to drive, she might be delivering boxes of roses to people. "I don't think so," said Mona as we walked to our piano lesson after school. You must have understood. Mona is the younger sister. She would have hit something by now. A gust of wind littered the street with leaves. "Maybe we better hurry up," she went on, looking at the sky. "It's going to pour." "But we are too early. Her lesson didn't begin until 4, mine until 4:30, so we usually try to walk as slowly as we could. And anyway, those aren't the kind of clouds that rain. Those are cumulus clouds." We arrived out of breath and wet. "Oh, you poor dear," said old Miss Crossman. "Why don't you call me the next time it's like this out? If your mother won't drive you, I can come pick you up." "No, that's okay," I answered. Mona wrung her hair out on Miss Crossman's rug eeks. We just couldn't get the roof of our car to close. It's all. We took it to the beach last summer and got sand in the mechanism. I pronounced this last word carefully, as if the credibility of my lie depended on its middle syllable. It's never been the same, I thought for a second. It's a convertible, so you realize she's pretending that they have a convertible. It was a kind of an embarrassment for foreigners or immigrants to be working, to have two parents working and not having limousines or big cars. "Well, then make yourselves at home." She exchanged looks with Eugene Roberts, whose lessons we were interrupting. Eugene smiled good-naturedly. The towels in the closet across from the bathroom Huddling at the end of Miss Crossman's 9-foot leatherette couch, Mona and I watched Eugene play. She was a grade ahead of me and, according to school rumor, had a boyfriend in high school. I believed it. She had auburn hair, blue eyes, and I noted with a particular pang a pure, white folding umbrella. "I can't see," whispered Mona. "So clean your glasses." My glasses are clean. You are in the way." I looked at her. They look dirty to me, so the sisters are talking to each other. "That's because your glasses are dirty." Eugene came bouncing to the end of her piece. "Oh, just stupendous!" Miss Crossman hugged her, then looked up as Eugene's mother walked in. "Stupendous!" she said again. "Oh, Mrs. Roberts, your daughter has a gift, a real gift. It's an honor to teach her." Mrs. Roberts, radiant with pride, swept her daughter out of the room as if she were royalty born to the piano bench. Watching the way Eugenie carried herself, I sat up and concentrated so hard on sucking in my stomach that I did not realize until the Robertses were gone that Eugenie had left her umbrella. As Mona began to play, I jumped up and ran to the window, meaning to call to them, only to see their brake lights flash, then fade at the stop sign at the corner. As if to allow them passage, the rain had let up. A quivering sun lit the way. The umbrella glowed like a scepter. She's fascinated by it. In fact, obsessed. On the blue carpet, while Mona, slumping over the keyboard, managed to eke out a fair rendition of a cat fight. At the end of the piece, Miss Crossman asked her to stand up. She "Stay right there," she said, then came back a minute later with a towel to cover the bench. "You must be cold," she continued. "Shall I call your mother and have her bring over some dry clothes?" "No," Mona said, "she won't come. She's too busy." "Oh, all right," she said. "Your glasses are filthy, honey. Shall I clean them for you?" And she did. So what a considerate lady she is. Sisterly embarrassment seized me. Why hadn't Mona wiped her glass lenses when I told her to? Then she started to abuse the piano. I stared at the umbrella. I wanted to open it, twirl it around by its slender silver handle. I wanted to dangle it from my wrist on the way to school the way the other girls did. I wondered what Miss Crossman would say if I offered to bring it to Eugenie at school. I thought it would impress her. Okay, I kept staring at the umbrella, toying with the idea of asking for one for Christmas. I knew, however, my mother would react. "Things," she would say. "What's the matter with a raincoat? All you want is things, just like an American." Sitting down for my lesson, I was careful to keep the towel under me and sit up straight. "I'll bet you can't see a thing either, and you can't relax, you poor dear." She reached for my glasses. She touched my chest and said, "This isn't a boot camp, just relax, lady." When Miss Crossman finally allowed me to start playing, I played extra well as possibly I could. She felt competitive. I told her with my fingers, "You don't have to feel sorry for me." "That was wonderful," said Miss Crossman. "Oh, just wonderful." An entire constellation rose in my heart. And guess what I announced proudly? "I have a surprise for you." And then I played a second piece for her, a much more difficult one. "Oh, that was stupendous," she said. "Stupendous. You are a genius, young lady. If your mother had started you younger, you'd be playing like Eugenie Roberts by now." So Eugenie is like a celebrity, the icon. Then I wanted to prove to her, I wanted to tell her that I was the school spelling bee champion and I wasn't ticklish and I could do karate. My mother is a concert pianist, I said. She looked at me for a long moment and then she hugged me. I didn't say anything about bringing the umbrella. The steps were dry when Mona and I sat down to wait for my mother after the lesson. Do you want me to wait outside? Miss Crossman looked anxiously at the sky. No, I said. Our mother will be here any minute. In a while, said Mona. Any minute, I said again, even though my mother had been at least 20 minutes late every week since she started working. According to the church clock across the street, we had been waiting 25 minutes when Miss Crossman came out again. Shall I give you ladies a ride home? No, I said. Our mother is coming any minute. Shall I at least give her a call and remind her? I don't think so, she forgot. Shall I give her a call anyway? I bet she already left, I said stiffly. How could she forget about us? But Miss Crossman went inside to call. There's no answer, she said, coming back out. She is on her way, I said. I said with a certain pride. Are you sure you wouldn't like to come inside? We both said no. And then I pointed at my sister. I thought Mona had started shivering a little. Oh, it's Miss Crossman came and said, it's 5:30 now, ladies. My pot roast will be coming out in 15 minutes. Maybe you'd like to come in and have some? My mother's almost here. She's on her way. She watched and watched the street. I tried to imagine what my mother was doing. I tried to imagine her writing messages in the sky. Even though I knew she was afraid of planes, I watched as the branches of Miss Crossman's big willow tree started to sway. They had all been trimmed beautifully. And it started to rain and pour. And Miss Crossman is coming out again, said Mona. Don't let her talk you into going inside, I whispered. Why not? Because that would mean Mom isn't really coming any minute. But she isn't, Mona said. She's working, she whispered. I shushed her. She's working. I put my hand over her mouth, but she liked it, and so I was wiping my hand on my wet dress when the front door opened. Excuse me, can I have a sip of water, please? Thank you. I hope you're enjoying the story. Shall we all go in? Miss Crossman came and pulled Mona to her heat. Before you catch pneumonia. You've been out here an hour already. We are freezing, Mona said. So Miss Crossman took her inside and offered her hot chocolate. Mona said, we're going to catch pneumonia. I'm not going in, I said. My mother's coming any minute. Come on, said Mona. Use your noggin head. That's a slang word, but it means you're thinking, your mind. Any minute, I said. Come on, Mona. And then I stared out into the empty street. The rain was pricking me all over. I was cold. I wanted to go inside. I wanted to be able to let myself go inside. If Miss Crossman came out again, I decided I would go in. She came out with a blanket and the white umbrella. Excuse me. Thanks for bearing with me. All right. I stared out into the empty street. Oh my God. Then Miss Crossman came out with a blanket and the white umbrella. Oh, I could not believe it that I was actually holding the umbrella. Opening it, it sprang up by itself as it were alive, if that were what it wanted to do, as if it belonged in my hands above my head. I stared up at the network of silver spokes then spun the umbrella around and round and round. It was so clean and white that it seemed to glow to illuminate everything around it. It's beautiful, I said. Miss Crossman sat there next to me on one end of the blanket. So I shared the umbrella with her. But I had started shivering. She put her arm around me. You poor, poor dear. I knew that I was in store for another bolt of sympathy and braced myself by staring into the umbrella. You know, I very much wanted to have children when I was younger, she continued. You did? She stared me a minute. Her face looked dry and crusty, like day-old frosting. I did, but then I never got married. I twirled the umbrella around again. This is the most beautiful umbrella I have ever seen, I said, ever in my whole life. Do you have an umbrella? No, but my mother's going to get me one just like this for Christmas. Is she? I tell you what, you don't have to wait until Christmas. You can have this one. But this one belongs to Eugenie. I protested. I have to give it back to her tomorrow in school. Who told you it belongs to Eugenie? It's not hers, it's mine. And now I'm giving it to you. So it's all yours. It is. She hugged me tighter. That's right, it's all yours. It's mine. I didn't know what to say. Mine. Suddenly I was jumping and down, up and down in the rain. Oh, it's beautiful, I laughed. Miss Crossman laughed too, even though she was getting all wet. Thank you, Miss Crossman. Thank you very much. Thanks a zillion. It's beautiful, it's stupendous. You're quite welcome, she said. Thank you, I said again, but she didn't seem like enough. Suddenly I knew just what she wanted to hear. I wish you were my mother. Right away I felt bad. You shouldn't say that. But her face was opening into a huge smile as lights of my mother's car cautiously turned the corner. I quickly collapsed the umbrella and put it up my skirt, holding it onto it from the outside through the material, hiding it from my mom. Mona, I shouted into the house. Mona, hurry up, Mom's here. I told you she was coming. Then I ran away from Miss Crossman down to the curb. Mona came tearing up to my side as my mother neared the house. We both backed up a few feet so that in case she went onto the curb, she wouldn't run us over. Why didn't you go inside with Mona? Said my mother. Oh, she didn't use her head like always, Mom. That's what Mona said about me. I should call next time, said my mother. I just don't like to say where I am. That was when she finally told us that she was working as a checkout clerk in the A&P. She was supposed to be on the day shift, but the other employees were unreliable, and her boss had promised her a promotion if she would stay until the evening shift filled in. For a moment, no one said anything. Even Mona seemed to find the revelation disappointing. A promotion already, she said finally. I listened to the windshield wipers. Swish, swish, swish. You are so quiet. My mother looked at me in the rear view. What's the matter? I wish you would quit, I said after a moment. She sighed. The Chinese have a saying, girls, one beam cannot hold the roof up. But Eugenie Roberts' father supports her family. She sighed once more. Eugenie Roberts' father is her father, she said. As we entered the downtown area, there was a lot of traffic in the downtown area. I was trying to maneuver the umbrella under my legs so she wouldn't feel it. What's under your skirt? Mona wanted to know as we came to a traffic light. My mother watching us in the rear view mirror, oh boy, where again rolled slowly to a stop. So she was distracted, and they're talking about the umbrella. What's the matter? She asked. There's something under her skirt, Mom, said Mona, pulling at me. Under her skirt. Meanwhile, a man crossing the street started to yell at us. Who do you think you are, lady? He said. You're blocking the whole crosswalk. We all froze. Other people walking by stopped to watch. Didn't you hear me? He went on, starting to thump on the hood with his fist. Don't you speak English? My mother began to back up, but the car behind us honked, beep beep. Luckily, the light turned green after that. She sighed in relief. What were you saying, Mona? Again, she was distracted. We wouldn't have hit the car behind us that hard if we hadn't been moving too. But as it was our car, bucked violently, throwing us all first back and then forward. Oh, said Mona when we stopped, another accident. I was relieved to have attention diverted from the umbrella. Then I noticed my mother's head tilted back onto the seat. Her eyes were closed. Mom, I screamed, Mom, Mom, Mama, wake up. She opened her eyes. Please don't yell, she said. Enough people are going to yell already. I thought you were dead, I said, starting to cry. I thought you were dead. She turned around, looked at me intently, and then she put her hand to my forehead. Sick, she confirmed. Some kind of sick is giving you crazy ideas. See, she's a very imaginative girl, and the mother is getting the sense of it that there's some honeybee buzzing in her head, making her think like this. Mothers know their children. As the man from the car behind us started tapping on the window, I moved the umbrella from my leg, and then Mona and my mother were getting out of the car. I got out after them, and while everyone else was inspecting the damage we have done, I threw the umbrella down a sewer. Did you get it? Do you think she did the right thing? What would you have done? See? Things, materialistic stuff, good things, beautiful things, collections. We all love to collect, but we have a limit to everything, and we have to draw a line and maybe share our blessings, our bounty with less fortunate ones. What do you think? I hope you enjoyed the story. And if you have any questions, any suggestions, it would be a pleasure to receive them and work on them. Thank you so much. Lovely seeing you all. Bye-bye.